All right. Good evening, Northridge. You're about to start the December 2017 Board of Directors meeting. And we'll call this bad boy in order at 8:01. Who's got a TV going in the background that needs to stop? All right. So who do we have present? We got, let's see. Here, PM here. Master Wins is here. Ravenstone is here. The Moon is here. Frozen Coast is here. Eden's here. And Lucian ex officio is here. Missing is Icefire Bay. Okay, so we only got a few things to go over here. Is there anything that anybody wants to add to the agenda from what's posted online? Any motions for that? Going once, going twice. All right, hearing none. We're going to accept the agenda as posted. So the bylaws require us to take a vote on the budget prior to presenting it to the membership in general. That requires a 2/3 budget or 2/3 vote of the BOD. We've all had tons of time to look over the budget. The COC voted to kick it to the board of directors, and so here we are. Is there any movement for discussion on the 2018-19 budget that we have drafted prior to taking a vote? All right, hearing none, I will move this to a vote. The 2018/19 budget as drafted and presented to us by the COC. All in favor of approving that budget and presenting it to the populace for the February membership meeting. Start with Astro Winds.
Yes.
Okay. Ravenstone.
Yes.
Blue the Moon.
Yes.
Frozen Coast.
Yes.
Prime Minister.
Yes.
And I will also vote yes, so it's unanimous. Great, I will kick that out to the populace here this week so they have more than enough time to look at it. Okay, so the next thing is we need to look at doing some appropriations financially for Dungeon Crawl. So I posted you guys the updated budget because of the necessary changes we've had to make. What that resulted in was the amount of money that's being spent on the event is essentially the same. We just have to sort of swap money from one line item to the next, and the only real way to do that without having an entire budget amendment is for the board to just simply appropriate an amount of money to make up the difference on one of the line items, with the understanding that we will have a correspondingly less amount of expenditures in the other line item. So the two line items for Dungeon Crawl are occupancy, which is essentially facility rentals and the things that go along with that. Originally, the amount for that was like $3,500 that was appropriated. Right now, it's looking like we're only going to spend about $2,894, so that's like $600 less. And then the miscellaneous line item, which is everything else for the dungeon, was set at about $1,700 in the original budget. Right now, we're looking at having to spend about $2,335, which is an additional $635. So what I'm asking the board is to essentially appropriate that $635, doing a vote of the board, with the understanding that we're going to spend $600 less on the other line item. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, so with a unanimous vote of the board, we're allowed to spend up to 10% of the treasure. Actually, is it unanimous? It might be a vote of the board. She's going to double check that, but we can vote to spend money up to 10% of what's in the treasury. We have far more than an appropriate amount to justify spending $635. So we'll double check what the vote requirements are here, and then we'll move forward with that. Does anybody have any discussion that they would like to do on that item prior to a vote?
Was the increased expense for like the all other dungeon stuff like a result of having to move the space, or just we decided there was cooler stuff we wanted to do?
To be perfectly honest, it was a result of wanting to add the tavern. The tavern line item is more than the $635, I think, or maybe it was right around $600. So there was a couple other things in there that were very minor, but just adding the tavern eats up 90% of what we're looking at here. And the corresponding income level for that is higher, so we're going to make more money than we would have before, but the expense still requires a vote. And we're set to none of this is going to result in a deficit. It's not going to change much, but we want to try and do all the money stuff as by the book as possible.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't mind either way. I was just curious which one it was.
Yes, no, absolutely.
So here's the requirement for use of funds. This is from the bylaws, Article 8, Financial Matters, Section 3, Use of Funds, specifically 832. The Board of Directors may authorize the release of funds for items that are not on the budget through a vote of the board. Should the combined amount of any release of funds in a single 30-day period be greater than 10% of the Treasury, it will require a unanimous vote of the board or a majority vote of the general membership.
Okay.
So
this item just needs a majority vote.
Yep.
All right. Any other movements for discussion on this before we vote? Okay, hearing none, I will call for a vote. And the vote is specifically to appropriate $635 for Dungeon Crawl, with the understanding that we're going to spend $600 less on occupancy. So we'll start Astor Winds.
Yes.
Thank you. Ravenstone.
Yes.
Looping Moon.
Yep. Yes. Sorry.
Frozen Coast.
Yes.
All right. Prime Minister.
yes.
And I will vote for the yes, so that's unanimous. All right, great. That'll work just fine. So Dungeon Crawl is going to be lit. It'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. The last item on the BOD agenda right now is we need to vote to add Amanda Chudnovsky, who is the new Prime Minister of Loop and Moon, to the bank accounts. So does anybody have any discussion for that? Okay, hearing none, we're going to move for a vote on adding Amanda Chudnovsky to Loop and Moon's bank account. Astor Winds.
Yes.
Thank you. Ravenstone.
Yes.
Loop and Moon.
Yes.
Okay, Frozen Coast.
Yes.
All right, Prime Minister.
Yes.
I will vote yes as well. All right, so all three items on the agenda are passed unanimously. Before we adjourn the BOD meeting, are there any motions to add anything you want to bring before the board? Now's your opportunity to do so. Okay. Just a reminder to everybody that we will have one more board meeting before this board is replaced with a new board. So if there's anything you guys want to see on the January agenda, please let me know. With that, I will motion to adjourn at 8:09.
I second that motion.
Motion is seconded. Call for a vote, and I'm going to do this one. Is anybody opposed? Hearing no opposition, I call the meeting closed at 8:09. Fastest BOD meeting ever. Okay, so for those of you guys watching at home, we are going to close this meeting so that it can be archived separately before we start the Council of Crowns meeting, and we will post a link to that in just a second. Thank you, everybody.